At a busy airport in a city, there lived a beggar. Every day, he would earn his living by begging from the travelers who came and went. One day, when he was begging as usual, he saw a tall, well-dressed man in refined clothes. He thought, "This must be some rich man. If I ask him, maybe I'll get good money." The beggar stepped forward and started begging, and the tall man stopped. He looked at the beggar carefully and said, "You're always asking for things. Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar replied sadly, "Sir, I myself am a beggar. What do I have to give?" The tall man said seriously, "If you can't give anything, then you have no right to take either. I am a businessman, and I only believe in exchange. If you have something to give me, then I can give you something." And, saying this, the man boarded a flight and left. The beggar stood there, but the man's words sank deep into his heart. He thought, "Maybe people don't give me alms because I don't give anything in return, but what can I give? I'm an empty-handed person." For 2 days he kept thinking about this. Well, on the third day when he was sitting in a corner of the airport, his eyes fell on some old pens scattered on the ground near a junk dealer's shop. Some of them looked like they could work after a little cleaning, and suddenly, an idea came to his mind. Why don't I clean these old pens and give them to people in exchange for alms? He collected some pens, cleaned them, and the next day, when a traveler gave him alms, he thanked him and handed over a clean pen into his hand. The traveler smiled in surprise and said, "This is really something special." Time passed. The beggar now took old pens from the junk dealer every morning, cleaned them, and distributed them to people in exchange for alms. And soon, people started liking this style of his. Now he started getting more alms than before, because people understood that he definitely gives something back. And then, one day that same tall man passed through the same airport again. The beggar immediately went to him and said, "Sir, today I have a special pen to give you. If you give me something, this will be your gift." The man smiled, gave alms, took the pen, and said, "What's this? Today you've also become a businessman." Hearing this, the beggar's face lit up. He was very happy. You see, after this day, he started considering himself not a beggar, but a pen seller, and within just a few months, he had saved enough money that he bought a small cart and started selling new cheap pens and small stationery items. 6 months later, that same tall man came to the same city again. Now he himself was busy in a business meeting. And at the airport, a man wearing a suit came and greeted him and said, "Sir, do you recognize me? We've met before." The man was a bit surprised. "Sorry, I don't recognize you," the other person said with a laugh. "The first time you told me the truth by not giving me anything, and the second time you gave me something in exchange for a pen. I'm that same beggar, who is now running a stationery business." Now the tall man also smiled and said, "So you actually acted on my words. You understood the meaning of exchange." The former beggar smiled and replied, "You gave me life's most valuable lesson. You told me that until we give something to others, we don't have the right to take. At first I thought I had nothing to give, but when I tried, I found that I also have things like respect, intention, and hard work, which are no less than any precious gift. You know, when I started giving old pens, I realized that people weren't giving me alms, but were paying the price for my sincerity, my thinking, and my passion. And I changed my thinking, and my life changed." The tall man fell silent. Then, taking a deep breath, he said, "Today I consider myself a businessman, because now I don't just ask, I also give. I may have less wealth, but I have a lot of respect. And that is my real capital." Both of them smiled at each other and went their separate ways. So, friends, we learn a lot from this story. In the story, that tall businessman knew the principle of exchange very well. All the big successful businessmen of the world have succeeded by adopting the same principle. You see, he explained this same principle to a beggar. The beggar made this natural principle a part of his life, and its effect became clearly visible in his life. He changed his thinking, and his life also changed. Listen, this story teaches us that if we change our thinking, we can achieve anything. If we always keep thinking of ourselves as small, we will truly always remain small. To become big, we have to make our thinking big and consider ourselves great. So, the essence of the story is that success lies hidden in your thinking. Awaken yourself, elevate your thinking, and then see how you reach the heights of success.